Is the cost of living in Abbotsford still worth it in 2025? That's what I'm going to be covering in this video. I'll be talking about housing costs, I'm going to talk about education, transportation, recreation, entertainment, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to lump it all into one video, and by the end you're going to know if moving here is right for you, if the cost of living is right for you, or maybe it's not. So let's head over to my laptop and we're going to go look at, first of all, housing costs, how much it is to rent, and then we'll look at housing at different price points. Not only will we look at renting like a one bedroom, we'll go all the way up to a full house. Same with if you're planning on buying, we'll look at what it would cost to buy like a $500,000 apartment all the way up to $2 million. So let's dive right in. For those of you that are looking to rent, in my opinion, the best place to look is Facebook. I've opened up Marketplace here. We'll go through some listings really quickly from a one bedroom up to like a full-on house, and then we'll dive into the cost of living for a house if you're looking to buy. But let's start off with renting first. So with a one bedroom, we can see prices starting around $1,200. That's for a basement. So basements are generally going to cost less. You're not going to have to pay utilities most of the time for a basement. You're not going to have to pay internet. So you're going to be saving quite a bit of cost if you decide to go with a basement in comparison to a apartment or a condo or a townhouse, because you're not only is it going to be a higher cost, but your utilities, internet, all that is extra that you're going to have to include as well. It's total personal preference. What you want doesn't really matter. But on the low end of renting, so a basement, one bedroom, you can get around $1,200. You can share rooms with people. We can see they're like $1,075 as a share. Why do that when you can pay an extra like $150 for your own basement? Actually, I think this one was like a studio. So some people have really bad units up and they're trying to get too much rent for them. Right now, there's such a huge like inventory of people looking to rent their houses that you can get really good prices on rentals. So if you're looking for a rental, don't settle for paying a ton or like really jumping into something if you're looking to switch, because there's some really good deals out there right now, and people who need, they've got these big mortgage payments, they've been using that basement, their tenants basically, to help them pay for that mortgage, and they're having a rough time right now. So sometimes people will drop their price by $100, $200 just to get a tenant in quicker, just so they can get that extra help. So one bedroom starting around, let's say $1,200, and that's on the low end. On the high end, you can look anywhere from $1,900 to $2,000, depending on what kind of apartment it is, if it's really nice. So if we're looking at two bedroom places, it really again depends if there's 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 baths. On the low end, you can get a 2 bed, 1 bath for around $1,500. My fiance during the summer ended up getting a really good deal, what I thought was a really good deal at the time, because this is where the rental prices are kind of at now, and even maybe not lower. You might be able to find some units like a little bit lower, but she's got a bit of an older basement that she moved into. She doesn't have to pay utilities. She's not paying any internet. It's all included. She's got 2 rooms. One's pretty decent size. The other one, on the other hand, is a bit smaller. It's more for storage. If you had, if it was like a young family and they have a kid and the parents are going to be in their own room as well, that's perfect for somebody like that, or 2 younger people moving out. That's a perfect basement for that. You don't need to pay more than $1,500 a month for a 2 bedroom basement. On the apartment end, they can go up to like $2,200, $2,300, again depending on how nice they are. Is it 2 bed, 2 bath? I wouldn't personally pay that much. If you're looking for an apartment, I would look around the $2,000 mark for a 2 bedroom. I think that's fair. You could probably get cheaper, but the units might not be as good. Okay, now let's look at 3 bedrooms. With 3 bedrooms, you'll see that there's quite a variety. If we're looking at the 3 bedrooms here, we can see, there's 3 bed, 1 bath, $1,800. That's a basement, I believe. I had just seen that yesterday. And that's on the cheaper end. It's a 3 bedroom basement. Rooms aren't the biggest, but it's affordable if that's what you need. Again, for a younger family, maybe you've got 2 kids, that could work out really well. 3 bed, 1 bath, $2,100. So on the low end for 3-bed, look around, let's say 18, 1900, 2000, around that price point for, I mean, it's hard to get basements that are 3-bedroom. You're most likely going to be looking at getting the upper portion of a house. And again, now you're going to be paying those utilities. You're going to be paying internet. You're going to be paying a lot more fees just to live upstairs. If we look further, we can see, you know, 3 bedrooms, 3,000. I wouldn't pay more than 3,000. I would say that's like the upper limit. That's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath. That's a newer townhouse. That's a really nice building. Again, the newer townhouse here, closer to $3,000. I personally wouldn't rent these out. I bet you these people are going to have a really tough time renting these units out, and they will end up settling for less at this moment in time. So don't overpay. And I mean, we can just write here 4+ bedroom and see what pops up. And we can see for a 4-bed, 3-bath townhouse, $2,500. That's a good deal. Yes, you got to pay utilities. It looks from this photo a little bit older, but that's okay. Again, you can get full houses for around 3,000, 3,200. I think this 2,500 is an anomaly, and I'd have to look into it to get more detail. Again, another 2,800, 4-bed, 2.5 bath. But expect, you know, if you want a full house, at least around $3,000, and you'll be in a pretty good place. If you're interested in buying in Abbotsford, whole different scenario. I'm going to break down the numbers for you, and you'll be able to decide, is it right for you to buy or is it better for you to rent? So I've got a breakdown of the property costs if you're looking at buying a house here from $500,000 to $2 million. On the top row here, I've got property costs. Again, the houses you buy aren't going to be exactly at these prices. This is just a rough estimate. This is going to give you an idea of what you can look forward to if you're going to be paying or buying a house in Abbotsford. With a 20% down payment, I'm putting a 20% down payment on these calculations. I believe that's the best way to go for the long term. Canada's really not the place right now because the returns aren't high to be investing, leveraging highly. So I would try to get in places with 20% deposit just in case interest rates do go wacky again. You're at least a bit safer. Loan amounts are the actual amount you'll be getting after the down payment, so that's how much money you're going to be borrowing. And 25-year amortization is what I'm considering in here, or in these calculations. Monthly mortgage payments, I've given 3 different options at 4%, 4.5%, and 5%. And the thing that this doesn't include is different, like we've got here, property tax, utilities, insurance, extra costs that aren't, you know, like buying that house is one cost, but there's costs every month. There's going to be legal fees on top of that. There's going to be transfer tax. This doesn't consider all of that. So if you're looking to buy a property at around $500,000, you can be paying around $2,100 to $2,300-ish for a place. Again, these are, these mortgage percentages I've put down here, these interest rates, I would say are conservative at this moment in time, but I think that's a good place to put them at. You know, I don't think many people are getting rates yet under 4%. Maybe in 2025, later in the year, they will be. This is right at the start of the year in December. Well, not even at the start of the year, so it's still December, it's still 2024. Monthly mortgage payments for a $1 million place, you're going to pay on the low end $4,200, and if you're paying around 5%, which could, you know, if you're getting a HELOC or something like that, you can still look at paying around that amount. Then you're looking at $4,600, $4,700. And at 1.5 mil, $6,300 to around $7K is what you can expect monthly payment wise. And if you're getting a place for $2 million, $8,400 to $9,300-ish is what you can expect to pay. Again, some of the like property taxes on these bigger properties is going to be significantly higher. Utilities, the bigger place you have, the more utilities are likely going to cost. Same with insurance. Strata fees. Some places in Abbotsford that are closer to the 500,000 mark have high strata fees. You might be paying $500 a month. So $500, and then you're also going to be paying utilities, insurance. it might end up being close to an extra $1,000 a month that you're paying on that unit, more than just your mortgage. And you know, that can add up. It can be quite a lot. I also want to show you guys some properties at, you know, around these price points that you can look forward to getting. So, oops, what's going on? Okay, so if you're looking to get a property around 500,000, you can see this 2-bed, 2-bath, 910 square feet, 3 years old. It's a strata. The monthly maintenance fee is around $375, so not terrible. And this is a decent unit. So a 2-bed, 2-bath for $500K, I think that's not a terrible deal right now. That's actually pretty good. It's on McCallum, not my favorite place to be, but I would say this is a good place for like a new young family to start off at. Next, we've got a house for $1 million. This one's definitely a bit older, good sized lot. I don't know if it'll sell. This area, it doesn't get flood insurance. Floods could happen in this area, so people are a bit more hesitant to buy. And yeah, 4-bed, 3-bath, 1,900 square feet. That's around what you can expect to get if you're willing to spend around $1 million. If you're looking to spend 1.5 million and you're willing to get into something a bit older, but really nice, I just found this property here. It just looks absolutely beautiful. 6-bed, 4-bath, 3,800 square feet, 26 years old. You can see the annual property tax here. Big land size, but if we look at the photo, it's not actually all very usable. But if you just look at this house from the outside, like, it's catches your eye. It looks amazing. It's a very beautiful home, very beautiful property. And for 1.5 million, you can get yourself in that and get a pretty nice view. And on prestigious Eagle Mountain, so automatically the price of this home is going to jump up. The most prestigious neighborhood in Abbotsford. I think it's lost some of its prestige. Still one of the better neighborhoods to live in. You know, people with money are going to be up there. If that's what you want to be around, then that is what it is. I don't have anything wrong with that. I wouldn't mind being up there. 6-bed, 6-bath, 4,300 square feet. So we can see this is just ginormous, bigger than that 1.5 million house. And this is just 4 years old. Property tax, you know, decent amount. If you look through the pictures, yeah, it's like a pretty nice house for that same amount. I mean, you could build, my family's been building for a while, and for that price, we could build a very, very nice house. In comparison to that, you're paying a premium for being on Eagle Mountain 100%. So that's a breakdown of the different costs you can expect living wise. I didn't include like food in there. That's all going to be dependent on you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the cost of education. If you've got a family and you're looking for what the cost of education is in Abbotsford, you're going to be pleased to know that most schools in Abbotsford are public schools. So education costs, they're basically in your taxes. You're paying, your taxes are funding education in Abbotsford for the most part. There's also some private schools if you decide public school isn't for you or isn't for your child. There's very good options. The only downside of the public schools in Abbotsford is that they're all religious schools, Catholic. You have like an MEI, which is a Christian Mennonite school. There's this Mish Punjabi school, which is a Punjabi school. So it doesn't matter what private school you pick, there's going to be some religious component. And I know plenty of people who have especially gone to, let's say, MEI, which I think is the best private school. It's about, depending on what grade your child is in, it could be up to 10 grand almost to go to MEI per year. I think it's one of the better schools, and I know kids who have gone there who aren't Christians, but you are required when you go there to take like a Bible study class. So that is a requirement of the students there. Doesn't mean you have to be religious. You just have to, while you're there, you have to take that class and I guess put in some effort. The private schools have a bit stricter guidelines. I think they tolerate less things. They're easy. Kids are easier. It's easier to. Kids are more easily going to be kicked out of there versus public schools. They're not really trying to kick kids out. They're trying to push kids through and get them the education that they need. If you've got someone in your household who's going to be going to university, or you're paying for a university, There is a university in Abbotsford from where I live in Clearbrook. It's about 10 minutes max away. On a good day, you can get there even quicker. It's just like from one part of a highway to the next. So pretty quick to get to UFE. It doesn't matter where you are in Abbotsford. Maybe it might, like on the further end of Abbotsford, it might take you 15-20 minutes to get to UFE. But I would say it's a very good university for being in Abbotsford. You know, not the biggest town, but a lot of people come from Surrey or the surrounding areas. People from Vancouver I know who have gone to UFE. So good school. It has a lot of different academic programs. And for some people, it's a good stepping stone as well. So they want to get into some bigger programs at some other universities, and it's a good stepping stone. A lot of those credits in the first 2 years transfer. So it's a good option. If you have a student going there for like a full year, you're going to expect to pay around $9,600 in tuition. So that covers education costs for the most part. And now let's dive into recreation and entertainment costs in Abbotsford and what you can expect to pay for things. So if you're going out in Abbotsford, I would say the prices are definitely going to be lower than maybe big cities like Vancouver, not significantly lower. But let's say I'm going to go out to Cactus Club. While my family went out, there were 6 of us went out for dinner at Cactus Club. Tip all in for 6 people, it was around $200. So that's just over $30 a person. And there wasn't really many drinks included in there. We were kind of drinking pops. Nobody was drinking alcohol. Alcohol increases your bill. Everybody knows that, especially in BC and in Abbotsford and the surrounding areas. But expect to pay, if you're going to go out for like lunch or dinner, at least at the minimum around $20-ish. That's on the low end. Yes, you can go get like a donair, or you can go to like Burger King or wherever and get cheaper meals. But if you're going to go sit down at a restaurant and get like an entree or a lunch meal or a burger, expect to pay at least $20 on the minimum. If you're looking to go to other events in Abbotsford, where we have like a hockey team and their games, I think you can get tickets for around $30. Sometimes they're even at a better deal. Sometimes they cost a little bit more. If you decide to go further to Vancouver, and you don't know the cost of Vancouver, I'm not going to be putting that in this video, but you can easily get to other cities where there's a lot more things to do, lots of more entertainment. But I would say the cost of living for like entertainment, recreation, actually what I didn't include, which I try to do almost every day and which most people try to do, is go to the gym. So if you're looking to get a gym pass in Abbotsford, right now I'm paying around $20 every 2 weeks, and that's what you can expect to pay as well. Most gyms prices are around that range. You expect to pay like for the month $30 to $50, $30 to $60 for most like chain gyms. If you're looking to get into some most closer knit gyms, yes, they're going to cost more. If you're looking to take more classes and things like that on the side, yes, it's going to cost more. If you're looking to get in a pass at the rec center, so they've got the gym, they've got a pool there, sauna, they've got things for sports, those passes also cost more. If you're a senior or like a student, you get a discount on those. So cost of living in Abbotsford, I would say it's pretty good in comparison to bigger cities. Because we're in BC, I would say it's still a little bit high, but that is what it is. And the last cost that I want to cover is transportation costs. So if you're getting around, most people in Abbotsford are going to be, or they are, driving their vehicle. People do bike. You will see people definitely walking around, not super common. So not a lot of people bike. The bike lanes aren't the greatest in Abbotsford. Busing, getting more and more popular, also getting better and better in Abbotsford. Used to be terrible, I would say, busing. Like, it's good for getting you from major points, but getting you all around the city quickly, it can be very time consuming. Personally, I don't take the bus for that reason. I know people who do, and it can be time consuming depending on where they live. So it's important, if you are going to be taking the bus, get to a central area where the buses have a lot of stops. That's really going to help you out. That's going to be more towards like central Abbotsford for sure. Now, if you're looking to take the bus, it's going to cost you around $2.25 to ride the bus every single time. If you want a monthly bus pass, expect to pay around $52 or more, depending on how far you want to be going on the bus. Again, most people, like I said, are going to be driving their car. So car insurance, how much is car insurance going to cost you before we get into anything further? So yes, you might have car payments, but your car insurance, I'm paying $1,600. I think it's just like a couple dollars under $1,600 for the year. I have a 2017 Jetta. So, you know, not a huge car, it's not a luxury car or anything like that. So the insurance, that drops insurance a little bit. But I also have a good driving record, a clean driving record. I have that 10-year experience with ICBC. Really drops your monthly car payment significantly when you've got a really good track record. I know people who are paying double that, and you know, they've gotten into some crashes, their ICBC record isn't the best. So that is going to play into factor, but expect to pay at least around like $150 or more. Depends on, again, how many crashes you've been and all that kind of good stuff. As for gas, today gas was around 160. It was at 155 like the other day. Cheaper than Vancouver, cheaper than Langley, Burnaby, all those places. The closer you get to Vancouver, usually the more expensive it is. Sometimes in Aldergrove, you can get it a little bit cheaper. If you go to Mission, which is like a 15-minute drive from here, 20 minutes, could be more depending on traffic. I was there on the weekend and the gas was like 15 cents cheaper, and I had never seen that because I grew up in Mission when I was younger. I worked in Mission for a while when I got my first job, and I'd never really noticed that the gas prices were that cheaper. If you go to Chilliwack, not a huge difference between Abbotsford, maybe a couple cents cheaper. Mission in this area was the cheapest gas I had kind of seen. Commonly, gas is going to be around 20 cents cheaper than in Vancouver. So if you're living in Abbotsford, expect better gas prices. So that covers all the different costs I wanted to cover in this video. I covered housing costs, I covered education, I covered entertainment and recreation, and I just covered transportation. I think those are the four biggest costs that you're going to be incurring while you're living in Abbotsford. And that takes us back to original question: is the cost of living in Abbotsford worth it in 2025? In my opinion, I'm going to say yes, because overall, yes, it is more expensive in BC. The area in general is more expensive. However, compared to Vancouver, compared to Langley, compared to all these other major and big cities, Abbotsford is more cost effective than living in those places. If you go to Vancouver, I showed you guys in this video a $1.5 million house and a $2 million house. If you go to Vancouver to find something like that, you might only get like a teardown. So your money is definitely going to take you further. Hit me up at livinginabbotsford.ca if you have any questions, you're looking to come into Abbotsford. I will reach out to you if you leave me your information. I hope you enjoyed this video. My last video, I made the ultimate guide about living in Abbotsford. So if you want to know more about Abbotsford than what I've covered here, just the costs, in the ultimate guide, I cover a ton of different things. So watch this video. I'm going to try to put it somewhere up here, and I hope you have a great day.